I'm at Edgelit talking to Michelle von Eschen, author of Old Farmhouses of the North and a new short horror story that's coming out soon. Michelle, how have you been enjoying Edgelit?
It's been awesome. It's my first year coming. I would love to attend again. We went to a few workshops and met some good people, so it's always nice to mingle with other writers. Yeah.
So you have you recently published Old Farmhouses of the North. What can you tell us about this book?
It's a short story collection. They're all quiet literary horror. Christine Morgan describes it as kind of like a post-apocalyptic gothic, if that could be a genre, a subgenre. Really dark themes, but beautifully told, so quite eloquent writing. But yeah, topics such as grave robbing for dead babies and things like that. So extreme ideas, but told in a poetic way.
So you you've been described as an author of quiet horror. You're comfortable with that title? You think that describes
Yes.
what the kind of stuff that you do?
I think it's perfect for me because a lot of people expect that I will have graphic, gory descriptions of violence and things like that. And again, I write quite dark ideas, but I think I have a delicate touch to approaching difficult subject matter. I like to say that my writing hurts you more here than it is a physical attack or affront. So I think it's a perfect description of how I write. Yeah.
You've got, as well as Old Farmhouses of the North, this is a short story collection. So do you focus primarily on short stories, or do you ever venture out into other types of things?
My first published book, I self-published a zombie novel in 2012, and it's quite beefy. It's a good length, and I think since then I've just written kind of shorter and shorter things and really honed the way that I write and kind of found my voice. A lot of people who enjoy reading my work want to see something longer from me again. So I have some things kind of in the works that are hopefully approaching a higher word count, but I have a lot of short stories out there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We'll get on to your latest one in a second, but I should say that I have read This Is How We Burn.
Oh, you did?
Yes,
That's awesome.
which you released through Godless.
Yes.
How did you find that experience? For people who don't know it, Godless is an innovative distribution platform for indie horror authors. So how have you
I was
found
nervous
that?
at first going through Godless just because I do write quieter horror, and people I think generally expect from that platform that the writing's going to be a bit more extreme.
Yeah.
But Drew, who runs godless.com, he has wanted my stuff for some time.
Oh, that's nice.
So I felt like very welcome, and both that and When You Become a Body, which I released previous to This Is How We Burn, have been very well received on the platform. I always give them like a kind of exclusive release, and then after about a month or so, I'll put them on Amazon, because some people still aren't sure about buying from a different website, but it has grown a lot in popularity, just Godless. People are finding out more and more about it, so it's been a great experience so far.
It's great to hear. So your latest short story that's going to be coming out soon is The Cavity Wall, which obviously I haven't read because it's not been published. What can you tell us about that?
I can tell you a few things. It is for a Books of Horror, which is a Facebook group, a very active Facebook group.
Very familiar with Books of Horror, yeah.
It is presented by Books of Horror, and it's a bunch of women in the indie horror scene, so an anthology from women writers. And I actually, we had a bit of my husband and I lost a bird in our wall. Like a wild bird died in our wall at our house, and it was a weird, traumatic experience. And often with my writing, because it is so of the heart, but dark, I got an idea out of that, and so kind of chased it and just have this same experience, but completely altering someone's life. They're unable to move on from it. It becomes a bit of an obsession, and so I pulled from something we went through and just made it extra dark. It's quite morbid. So,
okay.
Yeah.
And what's that going to be published in? Where can people find it?
I'm not sure if they'll be doing a paperback, but I know that the ebook will be available. I'm guessing through Godless, because a lot of the other authors in the table of contents have been published on godless.com. But I know that it will be announced all over Books of Horror soon. We're hoping for a Halloween release, I believe.
Right.
Yeah, so not too many months now. It's already mid-July. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
What's it called?
Dead Girls and Dead Things. My story is The Cavity Wall. Yeah.
The Cavity Wall in Dead Girls and Dead Things. Look out for that. Coming soon, and pick up a copy of Old Farmhouses of the North. Michelle, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.